Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Air Force One lands in Raleigh at 2 a.m. The plans for the president's rally later today, the traffic to follow, and what's next.
And boy, it feels sticky out there now. Our dew point's way up at 71. I'll show you what it will feel like this afternoon and our potential for a few isolated storms.
Plus, a long-standing Fayetteville landmark went up in flames and fire destroyed a workshop in a small town. The damage left behind from the two fires in Cumberland and Moore counties. With that and all your debate coverage that you have asked from us, it's 8 o'clock straight up the time right now. I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us. Elizabeth Gardner is over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. She spent some time with us today. We'll see that heat rise. It's comfortable, though, right now.
It doesn't feel too bad. Earlier this morning, our dew point was at 68. Just now, it's risen to 71. And anytime it's in the 70s, it definitely feels more uncomfortable. So sitting at 71, 77 for the temperature. So that's starting to creep up as well. So starting to feel a bit more uncomfortable. It'll feel most likely like around 100 this afternoon. Partly cloudy, though. You can see sunshine on the right side of the screen and over North Hills. A little bit of cloud cover on the left. We'll see more and more sunshine through the afternoon. And again, we'll top out in the low 100s in terms of the heat index. We do have the potential for some afternoon and evening thunderstorms. We'll start Futurecast here right around lunchtime. And you can see once we get to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, a few little cells pop up. None of these are going to produce a whole lot of rain. You might get some brief heavy rain out of these, maybe a little thunder and lightning, but they're not going to be widespread. It's a 30% chance, meaning only about 30% of us will end up seeing those. 93 this afternoon. Our temperature climbs a little bit over the weekend, but our heat index continues to climb. I'll show you when we could see another heat advisory coming up. Ken?
1 minute after 8 o'clock in the morning, basically all our major routes, we're seeing the usual congestion this morning, but really and truly, we're also monitoring the president's visit today. He will be at a rally at the State Fairgrounds right here around Trinity Road. Also, he'll be heading back to the Raleigh-Durham International Airport later today. And of course, because of the motorcade, you could expect some road closures and delays. We don't know the exact route of the motorcade and the motorcade route because of security reasons. But again, those roadways that have to do with all around the State Fairgrounds and those roadways that head back to RDU International will definitely be affected this morning. One of those roadways could be I-40 and Airport Boulevard. Right now, you see traffic flowing nicely in both directions, but that could be an issue once the president's motorcade hits that area. We're following a couple of incidents here right now. This one just happened on I-440 eastbound near Six Forks Road. Again, this is in the eastbound lane, not causing any problems in that area this morning, which is a good thing. Also, this crash on Jones Sausage Road earlier was causing quite a bit of a backup there on Jones Sausage Road, but clearly it's probably in the clearing phase and off to the side of the road, not causing any problems at this hour.
President Biden is in Raleigh this morning after a debate performance that critics and even some Democrats have criticized. Meanwhile, former President Trump will appear at a rally near Norfolk, Virginia today. We'll get to the highlights and reaction from last night's debate in just a moment. But first, we want to start with WRAL's Kelsey Coffey at the NC State Fairgrounds. President Biden will be there at his rally today. A quick turnaround from last night's debate. Kelsey, good morning.
Jeff, good morning. The president and the first lady landed at RDU just a few hours ago, and we're already seeing security here now at the State Fairgrounds as we're expecting for them to have a campaign rally here later today. Our crews were there when dozens of supporters welcomed the Bidens at RDU. Air Force One arrived at the airport around 2 a.m. Durham's mayor, Raleigh's mayor pro tem, and the state Senate minority leader greeted the president when he arrived. We're working to confirm what time the rally will start, but we can tell you hip-hop artists Fat Joe and E40 are expected to join the Bidens today in Raleigh. The president and first lady are scheduled to head to New York City after the rally. They will attend an official event and campaign reception there. We'll have live crews here throughout the morning and afternoon, so you can stay up to date on everything you need to know about President Biden's visit on air and online at WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And there are some Democrats raising concerns about Biden's shaky performance during the debate. He spoke with a weak, raspy voice, at times seemed to struggle to talk. This morning on Today, Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker talked about the performance.
We got widespread panic among Democrats overnight. One texting me saying this is a disaster, another saying this is hard to watch, yet another saying this race is effectively over. So you cannot overstate the level of concern.
People close to the Biden campaign say he has a cold right now. His campaign defended his performance, saying he offered a positive and winning vision for America. Republicans, meantime, are celebrating what they consider to be a strong showing by Trump. Both he and Biden pushed their policies on abortion, immigration, and the economy. The first question of the debate was about inflation under the Biden administration. Moderators posed that question first to President Biden, who talked about the economy he inherited after Trump left office. So we'll give you that statement first because they asked him first, and it's followed by former President Trump's response.
The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do.
We get a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess.
Trump was asked if he will honor the results of the election no matter who wins, and Trump said he would if it is fair. Analysts say Trump made some false claims during the debate, but was much less aggressive than in past debates. Republican Senator Tom Tillis shared his thoughts about the debate on X. He posted, quote, "Trump brought his A game tonight. Biden shouldn't have even wasted his time suiting up, not even close." A flash poll conducted by CNN found 67% of voters thought Trump won the debate. 33% thought Biden won. Prior to the debate, 55% of those same voters thought Trump would turn in a better performance. Be sure to stick with WRAL throughout the day for coverage of President Biden's visit to Raleigh. We have a full breakdown of everything that happened in last night's debate on WRAL.com. That includes a fact check of each of the candidates' statements from our partners at PolitiFact. A long-standing Fayetteville landmark went up in flames as fire crews say they were able to knock down a fire at Rogers and Brees Crematory on North Street. Not before it caused major damage, though. The funeral home has been serving the Fayetteville community since before 1900. Crews responded at about 8:30 last night. They found fire coming out of the roof of that single-story building. They haven't determined what caused the fire. There are no reports of any injuries. And another fire, as firefighters are working to learn what caused this fire at a Moore County workshop. Several fire departments responded to that scene on NC Highway 73 just before 1 a.m. Officials say the workshop was engulfed in flames when they got there. Smoke was also coming from a nearby garage that had a pickup truck and a motorcycle inside it. Crews were able to put out the flames, but the workshop and garage were badly damaged. 2 vehicles were also damaged. No one was hurt. Carolina Hurricanes are staying in Raleigh for another 20 years. This is official now. The owners of PNC Arena have given that final approval to a lease extension with the team. Along with it, the vision for a much larger entertainment district around the arena. The new deal allows the team to develop a total of 80 acres of land around the arena. The vision includes restaurants, a hotel, a Live Nation music venue, and housing. Hurricanes owner Tom Dundon says it'll be a world-class experience. The arena itself will also be renovated under a separate agreement approved last year. That work is expected to start next summer. An unusual chase spanned 2 counties in North Carolina. What officers say, a man stole an Amazon truck and what he did with it. Plus, parents of young children may have better access to emergency baby essentials. How a new small business is helping parents of little ones who are traveling through airports in the South.
On the 7-day forecast, today's high says 93, but it'll feel more like 100. We also have a small chance for storms today, a better chance on Sunday. I'll walk you through that potential coming up.
8:12 is the time right now as you get this live look over North Hills. Beautiful blue skies off there in the distance, and as predicted, those clouds are going to move off. We're going to get some of that sunshine. Temperatures about to bounce up just a little bit. It's that muggy meter that we've been worried about, and the dryness out there. Certainly Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center We need a couple of drops of rain on some lawns.
I was standing on my sidewalk yesterday evening just talking to neighbors who were just collecting and chatting, and this is exactly what they were talking about. Oh, it's so dry. We're having trouble with our lawns and our gardens and all of that. So we are in what we would call a flash drought. 2 weeks ago, there was nothing showing up on this map. Last week, we went under abnormally dry conditions, and now a good chunk of our viewing area and of the state is under moderate drought. So not something that we want to see. 0% of the entire state was under moderate drought last week. This week, it's over half of it. So this has happened very quickly. I'm hoping that we can turn that around. We're starting to, ever so slowly move into a slightly wetter pattern. We take a look at this afternoon and evening, just a few isolated showers or thunderstorms. That's not really going to help us out too much, but we do have that chance again on Sunday. It'll be our best chance in the next 7 days as a cold front comes through. We'll see some scattered showers and storms. However, our summer-like pattern makes it really difficult to really make any inroads on drought situations that we have unless we have a tropical system. Nobody wants to see that, but that is the system, of course, that'll bring us more widespread, steady rain. These afternoon and evening thunderstorms just don't cut it. They don't pop up everywhere, and they don't typically last too long. But it's what we have, and so I think a lot of folks will be happy to see that on Sunday afternoon and evening, and then that moves on out by midday on Monday. We do have a level 1 risk for Sunday, so that's something that you'll want to watch for if you had plans to be outside on Sunday afternoon and evening. Make sure you have your WRAL app and you set it to let you know if we have warnings or advisories. For the next 5 days, we could see anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rain. Anything is better than nothing, but we need inches and inches of rain to get out of this drought situation. Checking Goldsboro, a little bit of cloud cover there. Looking at a lot of sunshine in Apex, Chapel Hill, just clear there from Top of the Hill restaurant, and it's pretty in Fayetteville there with partly cloudy skies. The tropics have become more active, especially out here in the Atlantic. Lots of things going on. We have a system that has a 90% chance of developing in the next 7 days, and then a new one that just popped up in the last 24 hours that we'll be watching. Another one that we've been watching for a few. Oh, here, let's take a look at the model plots first. The one that has a 90% chance of becoming Tropical Storm Beryl and maybe even Hurricane Beryl by next weekend moves on into the Caribbean by Saturday and Sunday of next weekend, not this weekend. And then we're watching that one that could develop and move across the Yucatan Peninsula, a 30% chance that it develops. We're looking at our heat index really climbing for Saturday and Sunday. It's not just our chances of rain going up. I'll show you what it could feel like with the heat index coming up in just a bit. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We've been reporting all morning long that President Biden is in the Triangle, and that will affect your morning commute later this morning and into this afternoon. The president will be at a rally at the State Fairgrounds there around the Trinity Road, and of course, he'll be headed back to the airport. Now, we don't know the exact route of his motorcade, but once that motorcade hits the road, you can expect road closures and delays around those areas where that motorcade will be navigating. But we'll keep you posted, of course, online, and any opportunity we have to do it on air, we'll do the same as well. Elsewhere around the Triangle, this crash just happened just a little bit ago. Let me show you exactly what we're talking about. This is actually in the downtown area. For many of our friends who work in the downtown Raleigh area, this is on McDowell Street in the northbound lanes at West Hargett Street. Right now, we're not seeing any delays in that area. Nothing to really worry about this morning as you head downtown.
Droughts and floods, wildfires and storms. The U.S. is certainly experiencing some drastically different weather today. Amy Kiley has this look at what's happening.
It's a day of weather contrasts in the United States. Parts of the Midwest are still recovering from floods.
Oh my.
Now they're dealing with more rain today.
April, May, and then June especially. And it just kept adding up. And then eventually we saturated the soils and the water is nowhere else to go, so it goes into the lakes and rivers.
Forecasters say dry days in between recent storms make today less concerning. But meanwhile, parts of the Southwest and other areas are experiencing drought. These states have heat advisories in effect, and Colorado is dealing with the Oak Ridge fire.
We have very steep, rough terrain, and access is very difficult, so we're looking for opportunities out in front of the fire.
Wildfire evacuees in New Mexico are now able to return home to Ruidoso.
I thought there might be more that we could salvage out of it, some of the interior stuff, but it doesn't look like there's much of anything.
Many there no longer have homes due to the South Fork and Salt fires.
My wife, I don't think she's not at all ready to come. She said she may never come back up here.
It's heartbreaking. It was Amy Kiley reporting. President Joe Biden's visit to North Carolina today is the latest sign of how important the battleground state is to his re-election campaign. The president hopes his rally at the state fairgrounds in Raleigh today can help him buck some history. No Democrat presidential candidate has won the state since Barack Obama did it in 2008. However, Biden has some reasons to be optimistic. Trump's 1.3% margin of victory was the smallest of any state the Republican won in 2020. For the latest on Biden's visit, you can go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. This is a story WRAL has been covering for months, the deaths of these two children. The adoptive mother of Blake and London Devon stood before a judge Wednesday, a day after her arrest. Avante Devon seemed calm as she entered the courtroom and stood before the judge. The charges against her include 2 counts of first-degree murder, concealment of death, kidnapping, and felony child abuse. Investigators say Blake and London Devon are dead. They had been missing for years, but Avante never reported them missing. Authorities say they found a metal burn barrel with partial human remains in it. They believe the children were physically abused by their adoptive mother. Investigators say London Devon died of starvation and neglect. The Cumberland County District Attorney says the case is one of the most heinous he's ever prosecuted.
All of us have soft spots for children, and the cases with children are the most difficult that we deal with. So the fact that this involved allegations of the abuse and the death of children was certainly the thing that grabbed my attention first, particularly the manner in which the allegations suggest that they died.
Avante Devon is being held without bond at the Cumberland County Detention Center. She could face the death penalty if convicted on the murder charges. A judge in Idaho has set the date for the murder trial of Brian Kohberger. In a court hearing yesterday, the judge proposed the trial begin June 2nd, 2025. Kohberger is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. Deadlines were also set for other legal filings in the case. The judge anticipates the trial will last about 3 months. 2 former Uvalde School District police officers are now facing criminal charges. A grand jury handed up the indictment yesterday against former police chief Pete Arredondo and former officer Adrian Gonzalez. They face felony charges of abandoning and endangering a child. Earlier this year, the Justice Department released a report finding law enforcement officers botched their 2022 response to that shooting. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed. Crews will be working to clean up a train derailment about 30 minutes south of downtown Chicago. Most people who live nearby are back home after they were evacuated yesterday. Canadian National Railway says the derailment involved 25 cars carrying various substances. At least one of them was leaking liquefied petroleum gas. It has since been contained. No one was hurt. A man in Charlotte stole an Amazon delivery truck during a police chase. It all started when Charlotte-Mecklenburg police started following a stolen Ford truck after it sped away from a traffic stop. The driver and the passenger then jumped out of the truck, and you see them running here. Police said the driver then stole an unoccupied Amazon delivery truck, and they say he drove that into Gaston County before he crashed it and tried to run away again. Officers arrested him a short time later. Meanwhile, the passenger was found hiding in a dumpster. He had several outstanding arrest warrants. A new rule could help you switch cell phone providers sooner if you're unhappy with your current one. The Federal Communications Commission is proposing a new rule requiring all cell phone carriers to unlock phones within 60 days of activation. Customers will also be able to switch providers faster. It's not clear, though, if the new rule will apply to current or future contracts. The NFL may have to pay almost $5 billion in damages to people who paid for the Sunday ticket. A Los Angeles jury agreed with fans who claimed they overpaid for the NFL service. The jury ruled the league violated antitrust laws in distributing the out-of-market Sunday afternoon games on a premium subscription service. The lawsuit covers almost 2.5 million subscribers and 48,000 businesses who paid for the package from 2011 through 2022. The NFL says it will appeal the verdict. Parents out there, have you ever been in public and realized your diaper bag is empty? A new small business is hoping to help parents in that situation. Diaper Concierge, it's called. It's a vending machine for diaper changing needs, down to a onesie for emergencies even. The first machine was in Dallas Love Field Airport, and now there are 15 diaper concierges in Texas, including a Children's Health-sponsored free vending machine at Southern Methodist University.
I'm hopeful that it sends a message to parents and moms especially that I see you. I see you, I know this is hard, and we're all in it together.
I see you. Hopefully they're not saying that I smell you. England says her business is expanding this summer to airports in Texas and Arkansas. And for every diaper purchased, the company donates a diaper to the National Diaper Bank. New York City is getting ready for the 4th of July with prep work underway to pull off the nation's largest celebration, the 48th annual Macy's 4th of July fireworks show. For the first time in a decade, the parade will be on the Hudson River instead of the East River.
To get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
8:26 is the time on our Friday morning together here. I'm Jeff Hogan. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now as we're enjoying things just a little bit with these temperatures before it cranks up.
Oh, yeah. It's going to feel like around 100 this afternoon. I think it's almost a given this week, right? But it feels okay right now. 74 in Wilson, 77 in Durham, 76 in Fayetteville. You may notice some cloud cover. We have a little sun trying to peek through there in Durham. If you're seeing clouds where you are right now, they'll likely break up by lunchtime. And then after lunchtime, we actually have the potential for a few isolated showers and storms. Only about 30% of our viewing area will end up seeing any rain. It's not likely to add up to much. We will see a high of 93, so be careful in the afternoon as it will feel like right around 100, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. You look at the Beltline this morning, nothing but green showing up in the Beltline here in Wake County. We just have a little bit of brake tapping going on the north side of the Beltline this morning, usually on the Lake Boone Trail exit. You know, that one lane that gets you to I-40 westbound, that's what we're seeing this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle, though, all the major routes are delay-free at this hour.
President Biden is in Raleigh this morning, fresh off the debate. Air Force One landed at RDU just before 2 a.m. as dozens of supporters waited on his arrival. A campaign rally is scheduled for later today at the state fairgrounds, and we're working to confirm the start time for that rally. Next on Fox 50, some local basketball stars are headed to the NBA. And up next on Today, more news, traffic, and weather headed your way.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
President Biden is here in the Triangle for a rally at the state fairgrounds. How this could affect your commute today around the city.
And as you're out and about, it's going to feel tropical again this afternoon. I'll show you what it will feel like with the heat index and when you could see a few scattered storms.
And President Biden and former President Donald Trump answered some tough questions as they faced off on the debate stage last night. Their stances on some key issues and the reaction to last night's debate. 8:30 is the time right now. Thanks for spending the early part of your Friday with us. I'm Jeff Hogan. Elizabeth Gardner is over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We're going to get that heat cranked up once again today here on our Friday, but it always looks a little cooler when you have that behind you, Elizabeth.
It does, doesn't it? I know this always catches Jeff's eye for sure. He's a big golfer. Longleaf Golf and Family Club. Looks like there are a few folks out there on the green. A little bit of cloud cover making it feel a little bit more tolerable out there right now, but we've really watched our dew point climb. Earlier this morning it was at 68. We've climbed to 71. It may not seem like that much of a difference when you just start talking about those numbers, but the higher it goes into the 70s, just the more oppressive it feels. 77 degrees in the Triangle right now. It's likely to feel like around 100 this afternoon or so. And then, of course, we have have that chance of some isolated thunderstorms, but it will truly be isolated. We really need the rain. But you can see here on Futurecast, there's just not that much that pops up. It may continue on until around sunset, but a lot of us won't see anything out of that today. Hour by hour, we do climb into the low 90s. A couple of issues to look ahead to for the weekend. We may be under a heat advisory Saturday and Sunday as our humidity keeps going up. And on Sunday, we have a good chance for storms. Already a level 1 risk. I'll show you that coming up in just a bit, Ken.
Well, Elizabeth, at 8:31, of course, we've been reporting all morning about President Biden being in the Triangle this morning ahead of a rally that's happening this afternoon at the State Fairgrounds. The State Fairgrounds are right there off Trinity Road. And the president, of course, will be heading back to RDU International. And because we don't know the motorcade route, we do know that at least some roadways will be closed, some roadways will be delayed as a result of that motorcade route. We'll keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center as the president hits the road this morning. Elsewhere this morning, we're seeing just this crash that happened in the downtown area. I know many of you work in the downtown area. And if you're heading that way and you take McDowell or West Hargett Street, that accident is not causing any problems, but you might run into some just some police activity in the area. And of course, I know many of you are heading to the beach this weekend, maybe the Brunswick County beaches or New Hanover County. I-40 and Jones Sausage Road, the eastbound lanes flowing very nicely this morning.
President Joe Biden is in Raleigh this morning. He arrived at RDU International just before 2 a.m. after what critics have called a shaky debate performance where he struggled with his talking points. This is a look inside where that rally will be held in Raleigh today, a little bit later. Former President Donald Trump is also on the campaign trail today. He'll be at a rally near Norfolk, Virginia. We'll take a closer look at the debate in just a bit. But first, we want to start with WRAL's Kelsey Coffey at the NC State Fairgrounds. President Biden will be there today in that rally, a quick turnaround from last night's debate stage.
Jeff, it really is a quick turnaround. The president and the first lady landed at RDU just a few hours ago, and we're seeing security here now at the Jim Graham building here at the State Fairgrounds, where we're expecting for that rally to start later today. Our crews were there when dozens of supporters welcomed the Bidens at RDU. Air Force One arrived at the airport around 2 a.m. Durham's mayor, Raleigh's mayor pro tem, and the state Senate minority leader greeted the president when he arrived. We're working to confirm what time the rally will start, but we can tell you that hip-hop artists Fat Joe and E40 are expected to join the Bidens today in Raleigh. The president and first lady are scheduled to head to New York City after the rally. They will attend an official event and campaign reception there. We'll have live crews here throughout the morning and afternoon, so you can stay up to date on everything leading up to President Biden's rally on air and online at WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Some Democrats are raising concerns about Biden's shaky performance during the debate. He spoke with a weak, raspy voice, at times seemed to struggle to talk. While talking to reporters after the debate, Biden said he has a sore throat. Some said he had a cold. This morning on Today, Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker responded to Democrats who are calling for Biden to step aside.
When you talk to some veteran Democrats, they say it's too late to really think about replacing him. However, others say, no, it's not. There's still an off-ramp. There's a convention. There could be a brokered convention. But what would have to happen in order for that to take place? President Biden would have to decide that he is going to step aside, that he's going to effectively unleash his delegates.
Vice President Kamala Harris spoke with CNN after the debate, acknowledging Biden had a slow start, but commending him for what she called a strong finish. Republicans are celebrating what they consider to be a strong showing by Trump. Both he and Biden pushed their policies on abortion and the economy. They also shared their stances on illegal immigration. That is one of the topics our WRAL News poll found is most important to you. The moderators asked the question to Biden first. Here's his response, followed by what former President Trump had to say.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened, I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office.
All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history.
Our partners at PolitiFact call that claim from former President Trump about the safest border in history to be mostly false. Check out WRAL.com for a breakdown of statements made in the debate and for the full fact check from PolitiFact. Republican Senator Ted Budd is enthusiastic about Trump's debate performance. He posted to X, President Trump soundly defeated Joe Biden in tonight's debate. He also included a link to donate to Trump's campaign. You can find all the big takeaways from the debate on WRAL.com. Also, we'll have live reports at the president's fundraising event at the fairgrounds throughout the day today and online at WRAL.com. Other big stories we're following for you this morning. Firefighters are working to learn what caused a fire in a workshop in Moore County. Several fire departments responded to this scene on NC Highway 73 just before 1 a.m. Officials say the workshop was engulfed in flames. Smoke was also coming from a nearby garage. Crews were able to put out the flames, but the workshop and the garage were badly damaged, as well as a pickup truck and motorcycle. No one was hurt. A long-standing Fayetteville landmark went up in flames. Look at these photos. Fire crews say they were able to knock down that fire at Rogers and Breese Crematory on North Street, but not before it caused major damage. That funeral home has been serving Fayetteville's community since before 1900. Crews responded about 8:30 last night. They found fire coming out of the roof of that single-story building. They haven't determined what caused the fire. There are no reports of any injuries in that. Some people in Cary are pushing back over a proposal to redevelop the Waverly Place shopping center. The town held a public hearing on the plan last night. Developers want to turn it into a mixed-use development, including stores and housing. The plaza currently has shops, restaurants, and a movie theater, and some people who live nearby say that's all it needs. Real estate group Hines wants to put in hundreds of housing units, commercial space, and a structured parking lot. People who oppose the project say they are hesitant to get behind it without knowing what the end result will be.
We don't know if it's 4 stories, it's 7 stories. 7 stories is bigger than the hospital across the street. It is a god-awful eyesore for the people who live in jail.
A petition opposing the rezoning has gotten about 900 signatures, and town council says it'll take the feedback from the meeting and forward it to the Planning and Zoning Board. UNC police are investigating a string of break-ins on and near the main campus. Since Tuesday, police have been called to Beatty Hill, Gregg Parking Deck, and Fraternity Court. In all, they've taken 8 reports of car break-ins. UNC police are reminding everyone to hide your valuables out of sight, lock your car. If there's an alarm that needs to be set, do that. We have some exciting news for NC State basketball fans, specifically fans of DJ Burns. The NC State star signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers Summer League team. He is not guaranteed a roster spot, but Cleveland's coach said his skills are just too intriguing not to let him get to Cleveland right away. DJ Horn also signed a deal with San Antonio Spurs, and UNC's Armando Bacot signed as an undrafted free agent with the Utah Jazz. What's interesting here, Bacot now joins the Tar Heel with the Blue Devil. Duke's Kyle Filipowski is in Utah. He didn't have to wait long to hear his name called in the second round of the draft last night. The Jazz chose him with the second pick of that round, 32nd overall. Some experts say he didn't interview well with teams ahead of the draft, which could be a reason for him not being chosen in the first round late as it was expected. Tar Heel Harrison Ingram also heard his name called in the second round. The San Antonio Spurs selected him 48th overall. A massive sinkhole opened up right in the middle of the soccer complex. It was all caught on video as it came down. What authorities say caused that collapse that left a 100-foot gaping hole behind. Plus, the first edition of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is breaking records for the series. The significance behind the rare cover that sold for nearly $2 million. 8:43 is the time right now, and right on schedule. Here comes my ride into the dock in Beaufort. Beautiful live look right there. Sunshine just makes you feel a little cooler in these hot temperatures right now. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a big national look here at how our satellite's moving.
You do not have permission to leave the building at this hour. That was beautiful, though, wasn't it? Oh, my goodness. We have a stationary front. This one came through the area yesterday, and early this morning it had dropped our dew points a little bit. You might have noticed yesterday afternoon didn't feel quite as hot. We only hit 88 for the high temperature yesterday, but we'll likely heat up, even though we're on the north side of this front. This front will act as a boundary for some thunderstorm development, which is more likely to be down to our south. But we still have the potential for a few isolated showers and storms to pop up starting around 2 o'clock. There's 5 o'clock with a few of those. They look like they'll mainly be small, and they could pack some heavy rain, but just briefly, and there may be a few rumbles of thunder. Boy, do we need the rain. 2 weeks ago, there was nothing showing up on our drought monitor map. Last week, we went into abnormally dry conditions in the eastern part of the state. And then, of course, yesterday when it came out, moderate drought over a good chunk of our viewing area. We take a look at Southern Pines, and it's mostly cloudy at this point. As we get closer to lunchtime, we'll have more of the clouds breaking up and a bit more sunshine, and it's going to be a toasty afternoon. Right now, it is 77 degrees. This is, of course, a live look at Southern Pines. It will be a muggy afternoon, and of course, I think some folks will be wishing for some rain. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms. Probably not enough to stop watering your garden. I can tell that Deborah Page in Tarboro has been watering hers. Look at these beautiful coneflowers here, and the bees agree. I'm like, thank you, Deborah, for keeping those flowers from dying in all this heat and drought. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and let us know what's happening in your backyard. 93 in Raleigh, 92 in Durham, and 95 in Fayetteville for this afternoon. Our dew point climbed up to 71. I got kind of excited when it dropped down to steamy earlier this morning. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? But tropical, here we go. And it is likely to stay pretty high through the afternoon and maybe climb even more on Saturday and Sunday. So the Weather Service is already talking about a heat advisory for tomorrow and for Sunday. It could feel like around 110 Saturday and 108 on Sunday, just because we're going to add moisture to the atmosphere between today and tomorrow. That'll be the biggest difference. A cold front comes through on Sunday, fairly late in the day, and that'll bring us our best chance for any showers or storms all week long. We have a 70% chance. We could see anywhere from maybe a half an inch to an inch of rain in some parts of the viewing area. So that'll be helpful. Behind that front, it's slightly more comfortable Monday and Tuesday, but boy, it doesn't last. Look at that. For 4th of July, we're looking at 99.
Take a look at this huge sinkhole at a soccer complex near St. Louis. Officials say this hole is about 100 feet wide, 30 feet deep, and watch the moment it happens right in the middle there. Swallows the entire light pole. And it opened up in an area where the benches were between the fields there, where players would sit during games, just disappeared into the earth. Fortunately, no one was there at the time. The sinkhole was reportedly the result of an underground mine that had collapsed. The park is temporarily closed to the public. The Supreme Court will allow doctors in Idaho to perform abortions in emergency situations for now. Idaho law allows for abortions only when the life of a pregnant woman is in danger. In its decision, the court sidestepped ruling on whether that law conflicts with federal law that requires people to get appropriate emergency room care. The Biden administration argues that care should include abortions to preserve a woman's health. The Bible will now be taught in Oklahoma public schools. The state's Department of Education issued that new requirement yesterday, and it goes effective immediately. The State Department superintendent says that the Bible is a necessary historical document. He says schools should refer to the Bible and the Ten Commandments for their influence on our nation's founders and our Constitution. It'll be part of the curriculum in grades 5 through 12. A nonprofit civil liberties group says the new policy tramples on the religious freedom of public school children. It says it's ready to step in, but didn't say it would sue. Families can get a break from the heat this weekend by checking out the Lego Convention in Raleigh. It's one of many events coming up this weekend in our triangle. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan is here with all the details and Out and About's best bets. Let's start off with that Lego Convention.
We love building around my house, so Lego fans will want to check this out. Raleigh Convention Center Brick Universe. This fan event includes exhibits, building zones, lots of Lego merchandise. It's the 10th anniversary of Brick Universe in Raleigh. General admission tickets are available for Saturday and Sunday. They start at $20 at the door.
Food truck fans will enjoy this next one because there's a big event in downtown Raleigh Saturday.
And it's a great time to get out there. It'll be hot, but you got some options. They'll have ice cream out there. The Raleigh Food Truck Rodeo is from noon to 6 p.m. on Fayetteville Street. There's going to be more than 50 food trucks to choose from. It's always a popular event. Admission's free. Just bring your money for food.
And bring your appetite as well. On Sunday, downtown Cary Park has a Pride event happening. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. So Pride in the Park is from noon to 4 p.m. on Sunday. The event is open to the public. It includes family-friendly activities like lawn games, arts and crafts, friendship bracelet making, bubbles, and even temporary tattoos.
Also on Sunday, just makes me laugh whenever I hear this, former Saturday Night Live star Pete Davidson. He is in town. Where can people see him?
Yeah, Pete Davidson's bringing his prehab tour to Raleigh Sunday night. He'll be over at Mamandi Concert Hall in Raleigh. Some tickets still remain. His last set of shows had sold out when he was at Goodnights.
And you can get them for about $50 or so, those tickets. To see a full list of weekend events, you can go to WRAL.com and search the keyword Out and About. And we appreciate you, Kathy, for stopping in. We have some of the most famous shoes in rock and roll history on the auction block now. The blue suede shoes Elvis Presley made famous with his 1956 album are up for bids. The auctioneers say the authenticity of the shoes was confirmed by a close friend of Elvis. They're expected to bring a high bid, as much as $150,000. Let's be clear on that. $75,000 each. All right, check it out. The cover art for the first edition of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone just sold for almost $2 million. It is now the most expensive item related to the series. The rare book cover shows Harry going to Hogwarts for the first time. It was painted in 1996. The artist helped establish Harry Potter's iconic round glasses and lightning bolt scar. You see them there. LA Lakers made history in the NBA draft. They chose LeBron James' son, Bronny, in last night's second round. That makes LeBron and Bronny the first father-son duo to be in the NBA at the same time on any team, but they just happen to be on the same team. Last summer, Bronny suffered cardiac arrest during a workout while playing with USC. He has recovered. Dolly Parton is snubbing Ryan Reynolds.
Who are you?
Well, Rob has been in some very successful TV shows.
Well, I know who Mac is.
Anyway, Ms. Parton, if
yeah, she knows who he is, too. The country music singer trolled the Deadpool actor in a new ad for the docuseries Welcome to Wrexham. Reynolds and actor Rob McElhenney sent Parton a Wrexham FC scarf as a gift, but said it was from a fake Welsh tourism board. McElhenney is known for his role as Mac on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. A spooky new attraction is coming to Universal Studios, and Dexter prequel series recruits another star. Here's Ashley Dvorkin with the Hollywood Nation.
The juice is loose.
Beetlejuice's interactive experience, Ghostbusters' Haunted House, and Gellar's new role in the Hollywood Nation.
Sarah, right here, that's it.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is the latest A-list star to join Showtime's Dexter prequel series, Dexter Original Sin. She will play Tanya Martin, a CSI chief and Dexter's boss at the Miami Metro Police Station. There's something strange happening at Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando Resort this fall. A Ghostbusters Frozen Empire haunted house will debut at this year's Halloween Horror Nights. Fans will be transported back to New York City, where they will encounter iconic ghosts and characters from the series. The scares kick off at the Orlando Resort August 30th and September 5th at the Hollywood Park. Johnny Depp reprises his voice role from the Puffins miniseries in Johnny Puff's Secret Mission. The animated film adaptation follows Johnny Puff and his feathered friends trying to stop Otto von Walrus from plunging the world into icy chaos. It arrives in select theaters and video on demand July 12th.
Don't ever say that name. Beetlejuice.
The strange and unusual world of Beetlejuice comes to life with Beetlejuice, the Afterlife Experience. The interactive event will take guests through the world of the popular bioexorcist with recreated sets, live entertainment, and various photo opportunities. It opens in Los Angeles August 23rd, 2 weeks ahead of the highly anticipated sequel's theatrical release on September 6th.
But only say it twice. That was Ashley Dvorkin reporting. Before we head off to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic for you up next.